Power Talk is SKELEC's radio program aired the first and third Wednesday of every month. Tune in at 9:30 a.m. on ZIZ Radio for the latest information on what's happening at SKELEC. Learn more about doing business with SKELEC and the services that they offer. Power Talk, powered by SKELEC.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of Power Talk. My name is Patrice Harris. I am the Corporate Communications Manager at SKELEC. Power Talk is a radio program brought to you by the St. Kitts Electricity Company Limited, where we share with you all of the latest happenings at SKELEC. Today is October 18th, and it's going to be the last Power Talk for this month until we're back in November. November throughout the CARICOM region is celebrated as Energy Month, and SKELEC has been instrumental in the planning of Energy Month here in St. Kitts and Nevis, and the activities will start next month. This morning I have with me members of the Energy Unit who will introduce themselves and will tell us a bit more as to what will take place during Energy Month. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Bertil Brown, the Director of the Energy Unit.
I'm Denassi Frank, the Energy Officer.
Good morning, Denassi, and good morning, Bertil. I know both of you are no strangers to Power Talk. You're here every year telling us about Energy Month. Now, again, as I mentioned earlier, Energy Month will be celebrated next month, November 2023. Can you tell us about some of the activities that will be a part of Energy Month?
All right, I'll take care of that. So for this year, we have a good bit of activities to celebrate this year's Energy Month. We have the Minister is going to give his address on the 31st of October to open the month of activities. We'll be back on SKELEC Power Talk on the 1st of November, and we'll have a bit of discussion on the topic or the theme of Energy Month. We had a primary school quiz last year, and we decided to repeat the quiz for this year. So the preliminaries is going to be on the 2nd, and the finals is going to be on the 23rd of November. We'll be back on ZIZ in that same week on the Saturday for Totally for Kids. We celebrating worship at the Zion Moravian Church on the 5th. That's the first Sunday in November. So SKELEC and the Energy Unit and our stakeholders will participate in the worship service of Zion Moravian Church on that morning. And that Sunday, it is start of a campaign that we want to have this year, because we understand energy conservation is a very big thing for us in the region. So we decided to do a week-long campaign on social media called Unplug Me Week, where persons are encouraged to conserve their energy, unplug their devices, and so on and so forth. So each day is going to be a different activity, or a different initiative, or a different topic for the Unplug Me Week, and that's going to be on social media. And that will end with an LED glow walk in Nevis. So persons will be encouraged to go to Nevis and join in the glow walk. That's going to take place on the Saturday the 11th at 7 p.m. in Nevis. More information will come as time progresses. We want to engage the high schools as well this year. So, ECCB has their solar panel, their solar power parking lot. So we want to do a tour of the ECCB facility. That will be on the 14th, Tuesday the 14th of November. We'll be doing a media tour, so we're going to visit Freedom FM, Win FM during the month. I think Freedom is the 15th, Win FM is the 16th of November. We have our annual energy fair on the 17th of November. And the last thing we have is a conference. So we're going to have a conference for our stakeholders on the topics of energy and basically the theme as well. And that will be on the 29th of November. So that's a synopsis of what we have planned for this year.
That's a synopsis? That's a lot for a synopsis. Well, one of the things I wanted to ask you about the activities is, what is it that we're seeing different this year, or what are some of the new major initiatives that we want to turn into flagship initiatives?
Well, I like the idea of the Unplug Me Week. That's a campaign that we want to have, like I said, to push the idea of energy conservation, and that's a social media campaign. Maybe we could make it into something bigger, but that is something that I like. That for this year, we also have the glow walk. We normally have like a walk around this time, but this is something different. We want to show off the LEDs and the impact of LEDs on our energy industry. So, and that's also in Nevis. I don't think we've had much activities in Nevis like that. So Nevis is going to get a big activity from us. And then the energy conference is something that I don't think we've had to that extent. So we'll be bringing persons from the outside the regional bodies and stuff. Will come in and have discussions on the topics that we have planned for this year.
And as it relates to the primary school quiz, I know you mentioned that the LED walk is in Nevis. Have we seen any, will we be seeing any schools from Nevis participating in the primary school quiz?
Yes, we have schools from Nevis. It's a federal competition.
Okay, so these are some of the differences or the additions that we have seen for this year. All right, so we've spoken about the activities that will be a part of the month of celebrations. What is the particular theme? Because I know Energy Month is CARICOM wide. So what is the theme that the activities will be celebrated under, and if you have any background into the theme?
Okay. Yes. The theme is accelerating innovation, driving electrification. And that is a continuation of the theme from last year, which stressed the use of converting the end use for the consumers to electricity instead of fossil fuel. For example, cooking instead of cooking on LPG. You cook on an electric stove instead of driving an internal combustion engine vehicle. You drive an electric vehicle. And that is because it is much more efficient to have the fuel burnt at the power station than at your home in terms of cooking or in your vehicle. It's much more efficient and it's better for the environment. This year they're focusing more on the electric vehicle, and that is why you see two terms there that are synonymous with vehicles and driving: accelerating and driving, because it is much more efficient from an energy perspective to use an electric vehicle than a fossil fuel driven vehicle, an internal combustion vehicle. We also have to prepare for the inevitable introduction of electric vehicles. The major industrialized countries have all set deadlines when they would stop manufacture and import internal combustion vehicles. In fact, Japan, which is the country that we get most of our vehicles from, has set a deadline for 2035. And we have to be prepared for that when we cannot get any more internal combustion vehicles. And so that is what the theme is actually stressing.
Well, I find that very interesting, Dr. Brown, especially as we speak about electric vehicles, because you know what the next question will be. When will we start seeing electric vehicles more rolled out on a major scale in St. Kitts and Nevis? But I'm not certain if you have the answer to that question, so I won't throw that at you, but that's the question that's going to be on the table.
I don't have a definite answer. There are probably a few. There are a few here. In the previous years when we have had our energy fair, we have had displays of electric vehicles. So there are a few here.
But, a few here, but when we're going to get more, you don't know.
It will be mentioned probably later on, but we're working on an electric vehicle policy from 2024 to 2034. And that would look at actions that we can take to facilitate the introduction of electric vehicles on a large scale. Things like tax incentives, duties, and so forth.
All right, so thank you for sharing that. We'll definitely look forward to what that policy will look like and what that rollout would look like overall. Now, both of you are here as the energy unit. I wanted to say members, but I think it's only the two of you, right? So this is the energy unit here in front of us. Right. Dr. Bow, you are the director, and then I say you are an officer in the energy unit. For persons who might not be familiar with what it is the unit does, because I know you get a lot of your publicity around Energy Month time. Can you speak to some of the roles, the responsibilities, what exactly the unit is responsible for, and where you're located, how persons can find you? Okay.
Okay. The unit, the purpose of the unit is to support the government energy policy. And that policy calls for securing our energy supply. Also to have universal access to energy. That is, everybody have access to energy. And not only have access, but for it to be affordable. And also to protect the environment, to have clean energy, in other words. So that is basically our role. We have to carry out our duties within the constraints of the legislation that's there, which is the Electricity Supply Act, and which is a federal act, and there is also a geothermal ordinance in Nevis. So we have to do it within those constraints. The policy has goals which are 100%, which is one of the goals, is 100% of our electricity being supplied by renewable sources.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So things that we do is we are working on providing framework for the integration of renewable energy into the grid, and we want to make it transparent and coherent as possible.
So one of the goals of the energy policy right now, what is the activation date? What is the date of the energy policy?
Well, it's a bit outdated. It was done around 2011 and revised again in 2014.
So next year will be about 10 years.
Yes. So what we are looking to do is to update it.
Okay. And what are some of the other responsibilities that the department has outside of the energy policy, and perhaps some of the other major projects that are being worked on? Because I know there's a lot of conversation about renewable energy and plans for the future. So any major projects, accomplishments, achievements, ongoing projects that you want to speak about?
I would just say something general and then
Okay.
We do a lot of training, energy-related training, and we also do promotion of energy efficiency, especially, and of the industry, the energy industry in general. So, but Dinazio will give you some more detailed.
Yes, just to piggyback off of what Mr. Brown just highlighted, the energy unit is a lot of training. So we have a consultant from the Republic of China and Taiwan, and he has conducted a lot of workshops for our stakeholders as well. And when he's supposed to be looking into pushing those workshops to the public as well in the upcoming year. But just to highlight just a few of the workshops that he has done as it relates to the theme, he has done an electric buses workshop. Okay. So Taiwan has electric vehicles and have electric buses, so he did one for we actually brought in the bus associations to the workshop with them as well.
That's good.
So that is something that we did. We actually have a project for an electric school bus that we're looking into, so to electrify the government fleet. In terms of training, we have had this year we held a career fair for tertiary level students, so CFBC and the schools in Nevis, the two AVIC, CFBC, and the Navy 6th Farm. They would have come and we would have done we would give them insight on fields within the energy industry, not just technical, but things like energy law, ICT, things of that nature. We had a career fair to expose them to those fields within the industry. We are also looking to develop a database for energy practitioners. So if, for example, you want to install solar on your roof, you would have that information on our website that you could tap into. So that will be that's something that we're working on for hopefully the end of this year. Of course, there's the Energy Month where we do a lot of public awareness activities. And as Mr. Burr mentioned before, we're working on an electric vehicle policy, and we're hoping to roll that out by next year. And lastly, we are looking at renewable energy initiatives. For example, we want to do a grid code, and the grid code would regulate anybody who is trying to connect to the grid, and that would be very beneficial for the federation because it sets standards for tapping into the grid, more or less. That said, we've been speaking about it for a while. We want to do a renewable energy policy and regulatory framework for people who want to install renewable energy systems in their homes, like residential, commercial. And as it relates to installing renewable energy systems, we are looking to install a solar PV system on the Parks and Medical Center in Sandy Point.
Nice.
That's one of the projects that we have listed for the upcoming years. Just to name a few. And there are others that you can find on our website. That's energyunits.gov.kn.
All right, I'm going to take this opportunity to allow anyone who is interested in calling in to contribute to the conversation. The phone lines are now open. Please feel free to call in to ask your specific questions related to Energy Month, and the representatives who are here from the Planning Committee and also representing the Energy Unit. Until we get some callers, Denacio, I wanted to speak to some of the projects that the unit will be undertaking. I didn't realize that it was so many things that y'all had going on. I know the Energy Month and the Energy Career Fair and the workshops and so forth, but I think it's very exciting to learn about the new policies that should be coming on stream. We have a caller. All right. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning to everybody there and just you. Morning. This is Paula calling. Remember, I did put calling for this disaster. When we had with Philip, the nail had come down and it was a card and it wasn't easy with me. Yeah. So the guys them had to come because I was on the road trying to get you all and it was a lot of rain. And I hear the bang bang. So the neighbor them trying to help me. I tell them don't take no chance. So the guys then come the Friday and they deal with it till I get it clips. Thank you all for your service. I was waiting till you all know. It wasn't easy. It come down, the nail. Right by me door on the one door. Half a head. So I was scared. I'm a single mother. Thank you all. Calling from Apathy. Love you all.
All right. Thank you
for
so
your
much.
service.
All right.
So when I see you, thanks.
Okay, I'll forward the commendations to the team. I'm happy to hear that you are safe and that our company was able to provide some relief. We have more callers. All right. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm so glad that the world is trying to move away from the fossil fuel. I'm going to ask a question. Do you think a passenger airline, passenger plane, a big plane, do you think they can fly on electricity alone? That's one question. And the other one, do you think those big tourist ships can sail on electricity alone? I don't know, so I'm asking you all. Thanks for taking my question.
Very interesting questions. Dr.
Question.
Brown, Denacio. I'm sure Dr. Brown can handle that with ease.
There are small aeroplanes that fly on solar energy and batteries, but the technology hasn't developed to the extent that the large airlines, the jets, can do that as yet. But I assure you that there are people, as we speak, working on that. And it's the same for shipping. There are ships that runs on batteries, but they tend to be the smaller ships, but these large cruise ships, and so the technology is not available yet to service these large ships. But as I said before, they are being worked on.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Brown. GK, we have more callers. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
There has been technology available with this uranium in what you call it, nuclear power, like the army and so use it to power their submarines and stuff like that. I must say Navy, sorry. Use it to power their submarines and the technology is that a fistful of uranium can power one of the largest submarines for 25 years without going out of power. So why we don't force the cruise ships to invest into that technology? I'm talking about technology that is 25 years old. They make a lot of money. So let them use the technology. Look at it. If you don't know it, look at it. Research it. One submarine with a fistful of uranium powering it for 25 years without you needing any other power. Look at that technology. Thank you.
All right, Colin, thank you. Dr. Brown, you want to tackle that one?
Yes. Well, there are nuclear-powered boat or submarine in the military. The U.S., Russia, and those other large countries, but there are lots of issues surrounding it. One is safety,
Especially safety.
is the other, the upfront cost. Even though a small amount of uranium could power the ship, the upfront cost of building them is very high. And as you would be aware, the military cost is less of an issue than for the consumers, the ordinary consumers. So while the US government is willing to spend a lot of money to build a nuclear submarine, if a private company that is catering to the ordinary consumer build a nuclear powered boat, the cost would be so high that it may not be profitable, practical to pass that cost on to consumers. And of course, there is the issue of the proliferation of nuclear materials, which they have to take into account. So those are the issues that surround it.
All right, Dr. Brown. Do we have any more callers, GQ? Not at the moment. All right, so we're going to take this opportunity to begin to wrap up the program because we just have about 5 more minutes. I'm going to allow us to once again share the activities that will be taking place for Energy Month, especially those that we want the public to participate in, and to provide any final words and prepare the listeners for when we're back in the next week or two.
All right. So just to go over the public events that we're having, the minister is going to give his address on the 31st. We're going to be back on Power Talk the next couple of weeks on the 1st. We're going to be on Totally for Kids on the 4th, Saturday the 4th of November. We are going to be doing the Unplugged Week from the 5th to the 11th of November. We are going to have the Glow Walk on the 11th in Nevis. We're going to have the Energy Fair on the 17th, and we definitely invite all persons to come to the Independence Square on the 17th.
Can you tell us one or two of the organizations or companies that will be at the Energy Fair?
Well, of course, SKELEC and NEBLEC is definitely going to be there. The Diabetes Association normally has their health screening on that day as well, so they will be there.
The small business,
Right.
Small Business Development Corporation, I think that's the name, will be partnering with us this year. And we have invited, I don't think we have gotten confirmation, companies like Coates, TDC, Hasfords, the Sol and Delta. We have some private companies like, we have invited New Generation Engineering, which is New Bianguyo. We have New Era, which most people wouldn't be familiar with, but it's based at Bladens that do renewable energy, and a few others who we have invited.
And the unit itself will be there.
The unit itself will be there.
Will there be a bulb distribution this year?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so
distribution.
members of the public, be advised, the Energy Fair is when, where, and what time?
The Energy Fair is on the 17th of November in the Independence Square. We start at 9. And there will be a bulb drive as well.
All right. So, and the primary school quiz and the other
primary school quiz
activities?
finals. The primary school quiz finals is something that it's going to be streamed live.
Yes.
So the public can participate in that by supporting your school I won't give the details on which schools are participating just yet.
With the school that won last year was which school?
Tyrrell Williams. Tyrrell Williams
Will they
won
be
the
back this
competition.
year?
They will be back this year.
All right, so let's
Defend
see if
their
they can
titles.
have a two-peat.
I don't know if they would make it to the finals because we have them in zones and they will be in
So you're trying to say you don't think there'll be a two-peat, Dr. Brown?
I don't know.
You're sending the threat out to Tyrrell Williams?
Well, I think the other schools are preparing. They're preparing. We have an East zone, a West zone, a Bastia zone, and a Nevis zone. And so the winners from those 4 zones would go to the finals.
Lovely. So I always look forward to the fear and the quiz. Those are my 2 favorite activities. Not that the others aren't fun, but I like the excitement of those. I'm encouraging the public to participate, to pay attention to what's happening. We'll have our media drive, we'll have our media tour rather, where we'll go to different media houses, we'll start pushing out the information on social media so that you will be aware as to what will be taking place for Energy Month. Any other parting words, gentlemen?
Just again encourage the general public to support our public activities.
All right, so thank you for tuning in to today's edition of Power Talk. Today we discussed Energy Month and a bit of what is taking place at the Energy Unit here in St. Kitts and Nevis. We forgot to mention that the Energy Unit is located, where are you located?
Upstairs, the water services department building
On Wellington Road.
Yes.
So any questions that you have, please don't be afraid to direct them to the Energy Unit. As you can see, Dr. Brown and Denasi are very knowledgeable. Dr. Brown told us about so many things this morning that I wasn't even aware of. So you have no doubt as to how knowledgeable they are. So thank you for tuning in. We'll be back on the 1st of November.
Yes.
1st of November, where we'll share more in depth about the Energy Month activities. Thank you to all of the men and women at SKELEC who continue to labor to ensure that we have electricity here on St. Kitts, and that's why we are the nation's leading utility provider and we wouldn't have it any other way. Bye-bye.
It's 10 o'clock in the studio, and this morning time check is coming to you compliments Republic Bank.
You're imagining the goals you'd like to achieve. We're ahead to see you through. We're invested in you. We're invested in